What's up, guys? Subs Eric here, back for another VOD review, and there's a Christmas miracle that has happened. Okay, I mean, it's not Christmas, but Tanner, who posts a lot of Chinese TFT content, posted about this player, Litu Chuan, who popped off really hard in the semifinals of the Chinese regionals tournament. 1-7-1-1-1 in the 5 games, so just absolutely dominated the field. And as I talked about in the last VOD, I didn't know that there were player POV VODs for Chinese tournaments. Usually they just post the main broadcast and that's it, but he dropped some player POV VODs, so I'll put the link to this in the description down below. But we have all of the VODs for this player, which is really hype. So we are going to get to actually watch a player POV from a Chinese tournament, which is something, like I said, that we don't usually get in China. Auto-translating this real quick, we get something sub delivery. Maybe this is champion delivery. Either the one that you that you tailor for, or the one that you don't tailor for. But also, look, the quality is beautiful. Oh, I was able to download this. Like, I messaged back on that Twitter thread. Maybe you guys don't care as much as I do, but I am so hyped for the possibility of being able to look at more of these VODs. All right, first shop here. So we already kind of have to make a decision if we get 0 gold here. Do we want to hold on to these Kobukos or do we want to hold on to these Jaxes? I would say we have a Sivir, we have a Garen. I would want to hold on to the Jaxes. It's reasonably likely that we get some gold here. I think if you get 0 gold here, I'd probably sell Kobuko, sell Kha'Zix, and then just pick up the 2 Jaxes. So we'll see. Yeah, we do end up getting some extra gold here. Though we get a Sivir and a Jax, you have to pick up Jax 2 here. So yeah, I think I would hold on to the Kobuko, one of the Kobukos, and then buy Jax 2 here. Looks great. I mean, yeah, fantastic opener for us already. I really just need to pick up like a Zyra or Riven. A Zyra would be best because we already have a really good front line, so we just want some more damage. Throw a Zyra onto here, and we'll see what the game holds for us. Certainly could be an AD game with bow and sword if we get dropped like a glove here. That would be fantastic. Teardrop here. We want to hold on to the Asuo pair, I would say, and then is there anything else that you really want to hold in this shop? I think holding on to the Kha'Zix and the Darius makes a little bit of sense. I mean, with the Teardrop, it kind of changes everything because our items are a bit more AP now, right? We have like Shojin could be a slam, Static Shiv could be a slam, and just because we have this board in Oprah doesn't mean we have to play AD with the Sivir. We could play AP with like a Darius, with like a Kog'Maw or something. I'm kind of down to hold on to this Kog'Maw over something like this Kha'Zix here, but let's see. Looks like we're just gonna hold on to the Kha'Zix. All right, first augment. I think it's just always Band of Thieves here. This augment is just too broken, and you already have a 2-star unit. If you have a 2-star unit that you can throw the Band of Thieves on, then you just always take it. Humble opinion. A bit surprising here, though, to see what board it looks like. Litu Chuan. I know my pronunciation. It must be absolutely horrible. I wanted to go look at his name again to get a better. Oh my god, I lost the link. Okay, Litu Chuan is how I'm gonna say it. But okay, we have Storyweaver here. We have Storyweaver plus Jax if we wanted to play as our opener, and then you get to play around the Jax 2 with item. We also have the Sisuo 2 that you want to play around. We also have Exalted here, which we don't have showing on the screen here. He probably checked it earlier, so I'm not actually sure what Exalted is this game. I can't, hover over and check it. We also have the Amumu that you could potentially fill on this board. So many a question of like what our strongest board is here. And for the people in the YouTube comments are going to tell me to stop pausing. I'm not. I'm always going to pause because like this is actually a really big decision point. Once your strongest board here, what do you want to play in this position? Like this can determine so much of your game, what board you end up actually playing in this position. Because I was down for just the Sivir, Garen, this plus Riven. And you play Storyweaver, you have the Jax 2 to play around, you throw the TG onto Jax. Maybe you make some kind of like Shojin onto Sivir or something, and you say I'm playing AP from this spot. Shojin's not my favorite AP item. It almost looks like he wants to play towards Duelist here, which is quite surprising to me, because what is the board then? It's like this board and then we level for a Mumu. I don't know, maybe there's an Exalted unit that we play. But yeah, I would certainly say this board plus Riven would be my call here. What do you take from this? I assume... I actually don't even hate just Shred here. We're pretty far off getting Shred. We could maybe make a Static Shiv for Shred purposes, but like I'm not that hyped about it. So yeah, okay, I hate this song. Yeah, I kind of don't dislike Shred here, and then you make Shojin, and then you play towards some kind of... It's so awkward, because, like, you would love to play an AD game from here. If we had got Glove, our game would have been so straightforward, and we are just going to go for the attack speed one, considering the fact that this might still be an AD game. If you're playing towards AD, you want to pick up the attack speed one, because you always want to make less Whisper for your Kai'Sa here. So yeah, we also get some of, like, the main broadcast stuff, where we get to see at the top who we are fighting, I guess that is, so that's pretty cool as well. This is also... It's not the lobby we watched last VOD, but it's a very stacked lobby as well. Flancy, 62nd, 2 of the best players in China here. Okay, so it's this Exalted. It's the Garen Oh, it's the all one cost exalted, right? Garen, Garen plus Ari plus Darius here. And he did end up making that Shojin there, and now we're going to move items over. I think this makes perfect sense. This is certainly our strongest board, and we can hold on to maybe the Amumu here. You certainly want to make gold. If you win, I assume we're selling everything but the Amumu, and if we lose, I'm pretty sure we're selling the Amumu. Looks like we're going to hold on to the Darius and Malphite, who are both exalted here in this scenario, right? We're going to play the Malphite because it's a slightly stronger unit. But yeah, Darius is exalted, so we're looking actually to maybe play a full 5 exalted board. You got to sell something here. Yeah, the Amumu comes out, so we're more interested in holding onto Malphite pair here for potentially getting exalted, and I think that's quite reasonable. Because we did not get exalted in the last round, we can't actually level this round, or we got it in last round, but not at 2-1, so we can't level here if you get exalted in for the first 2 rounds. Obviously, you get an extra 2 XP, and so that you can level here really, really easily, but you know, such is life that this is not going to be the case here, and that's okay. Not the end of the world. We still have a pretty good opener, and we do get to play around the Ahri. I guess the question, the burning question in my head is, what are we actually playing from this position? Shojin is an item that I feel like, and also, ooh, okay, that's the pre-level there. Because after winning that fight, we could have just made 20, right? You go up to 12, boom, 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 right? You make 20 gold here, and you just hold on to Malphite here. I'm a bit surprised we don't make 20. I mean, we obviously get the pre-level here, but I like making 20 more than I like the pre-level personally. It's kind of interesting. He does get to hold more stuff here by pre-leveling, certainly, but I'm a bit surprised. It's not like we were going to pre-level regardless with that extra 2 XP. We still needed another 2. But yeah, pretty wild here. Everybody getting a 2-star 2 cost here is also pretty bad for us. We need something that we can, you know, spike our board with. We still have... We made Shojin, so we have Bo open here. Red buff Teemo, I don't dislike at all. It's a Teemo 2. We can play around that. We're going to take the Nico 2, though, here. With the Giant Spell here, it fits fantastically onto our board, actually. So, yeah, I mean, I could certainly see this being the take here. You can also think about making Nashers. But yeah, it's Arcanist, it's Heavenly. Wow, that's actually, like, once again, see, like, I feel like you learned so much from the pause there. I mean, I wasn't really looking even at the Nico here, but it makes a lot of sense to fit the Nico onto our board. It's Nashers as well. Teemo, you know, 2 with a red buff and a Shojin is also really, really big, and I'm sure this player ended up seeing that. It's just that they decided, you know, they'd rather do this. Now we move the TG over to the Nico. Like, this is why pausing is good, man, because I think you could so easily take for granted that decision, but there's actually like a lot that goes into that decision. But yeah, now we get to play a really, really nice board where we still get to keep Exalted in. This is kind of like the ideal Exalted board, I would say, with this Exalted. It's so free to play, right? Because these units synergize so well with the Yorick. And then Nico actually fits beautifully in as well for Heavenly plus Arcanist here. The only question is, what does our next level become? Maybe a random duelist here, like a Volibear or something. I don't really see. I mean, maybe another like random Heavenly unit here wouldn't be bad. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be the 5 streak, a beautiful 5 streak by this player. I really like how he played around this early game and how he played around picking up the Nico here and how he's playing around Exalted. And this is going to make it very easy for us to just push levels. But I guess we can go back to my original question, which is, what are we playing from this spot? Shojin, I think, is a much lower priority mana item these days, just because Syndra is pretty, I mean, 1, Syndra prefers blue buff, and 2, you know, you don't really want to be playing Syndra. And then Nico oftentimes wants to end up building a blue buff as well. Okay, unit-wise here, I mean, I assume you just have to make gold here. I don't really care about holding most of these things. Maybe you could hold this Nico for like a random drop blossom here, and you hold on to the Ahri as well. But yeah, I'm not too worried about making gold here. There's Soraka for another in. Ooh, but it's not going to be Soraka. It's going to be the 5 Exalted here. That's why we're holding onto this Garen. That's why we're holding onto all of this stuff like the Kobuko as well here. So it could be Soraka on this board, or it could be 5 Exalted. It's a big jump in damage here, and you don't lose that much. The downside is you do lose the Umbral plus Behemoth here, which is really scary for me, but you do get 5 Exalted, which is a big jump in damage. Another big question here, you're on a 5 streak here. Do you ever duplicate this Ahri here? I'm actually quite interested in duplicating this Ahri, I think. It gives us really good odds of continuing our streak, means we probably won't have to roll until level 8. We don't really want to roll for an Ahri 2 here, and so yeah, I think I would actually dupe the Ahri here. It's a big decision, yeah, and we do go for it. I think it makes perfect sense. You know, you're spending 1, you know, you're turning your duplicator into like quote-unquote 1 gold, but guaranteeing that Ahri is a big hit, though it is scary here. We're about to fight a really strong duelist board. Can we get through this? Really nice positioning on the Ahri so that she gets big ults on, oh my god, on this clump from keepers. You saw beautiful positioning from this player, right? He swapped the right side exactly for this player. Our Ahri is targeting the middle of this clump here, so now every time Ahri ults, she's hitting boom, all of these units, applying Morella to everyone. Then she ends up aggroing onto the Kiana perfectly. This is perfect position. And, you know, without good positioning, we could have easily lost this fight. So huge play here from Litu Chuan. And we're going to go into Augment here. But, I mean, this is already a fantastic spot to see ourselves in. Augment-wise here, I don't really... I mean, we have, like, no 2 healthy value at all, and this Gambler's Blade Augment probably just shouldn't be offered at 3-2, so I'm down to reroll both of those. And then Crash Test Dummies is a decent option, good combat option to keep us streaking. I don't want Portable Forge, we don't have any open components. I would just take Crash Test here, give us a little bit more frontline. Maybe I could see Balanced Budget for, like, a Fast 9 type angle, but yeah, it's a bit risky. So, yeah, I think this is our spot. We're holding onto this Alawi because that's another unit that is going to fit very, very nicely onto this board here. Though it's not for Arcanist quite yet, so I don't know. Is there something... I mean, I guess our best in is just to add the Yorick back on our next level, which probably will be next round, honestly, unless we fight... unless we end up losing our streak here. Look at this Ari go, though. Just a really, really nice item holder, though. This board that we're fighting, this is someone who rolled quite a bit, so we can maybe end up losing this fight, but no! Ari gets through. Oh my god. Actually keeping the streak versus that player who clearly rolled. And now, yes, the level comes in. I think this makes perfect sense. It's very, very cheap to level here. You still get to make 4D cold, which is huge, and getting that Umbral in is big. Also, really, really cute here. We're gonna put the Umbral, we're gonna put the dummy on the Umbral Hex here in the back so that it gets the shield, but it's still, you know, we maximize usage of that last hex, which is really, really smart stuff. And yeah, I mean, should be just smooth sailing at this point, unless Iona has something to say about it, but no, yeah, we don't have to deal with that. Also, looking at the units that we're holding, certainly looks like we are angling towards playing some kind of a Lilia comp. We already have the 2-star Nico, which is really, really good. We have these 2 Alawis who can item hold tank items. At this point, speaking of tank items, I think that's what I want to look for. We have basically 3 items for Lilia, so just a giant spell tier I'd be happy with. Looks like Wrangling Glove, though. Okay. Maybe this is for Guardbreaker, maybe this is for JG. I'm a little bit afraid of not having any tank items in this world that we live in, but hey, maybe it'll be okay. We do also pick up an Annie here who's going to fit very potentially nicely onto that board, because this is the big question, is what version of Lilia are we going to play here? I think, you know, people like in NA, based on like TFT Academy, the TFT stats, or not really stats website, but tier list website that Dish Soap and Frodan run, they say, you know, their favorite version of the comp is the 4 Invoker, more like vertical mythic version of the comp, and that's what I've seen a lot of. There is still kind of like the old Sage version of the comp with Morgana. Also, I think we might just, yeah, our win streak comes to an end here. Still, you know, getting we've got a ton of gold across this entire game, so it's okay. Ari encounter, oh, this is the HP one. We're up to 103 HP. But yeah, I mean, it feels bad to lose our streak for sure, but not the end of the world to lose our streak after, you know, an 8 streak with Exalted in for most of it. Not too bad at all here. It's interesting because we waited an extra round to get Exalted in. So it's 6 XP over, well, it's 6 XP, it's 8 XP by the time we hit to 4-2. Which means 4-2 is not going to be like on curve for us, but 4-1's not going to be on curve for us as well, because by 4-1, see, we're going to go up to 20 here, but then we have this 1 XP. Oh, no, we just cracked the, oh, I guess we had 2 XP in that thing. Okay, so this is actually perfect for us then. We're perfectly on interval. I guess he had an extra XP in the little thingy that he had. So now, yeah, I mean, this is perfect. We get to 4-1 it here with a lot of gold. Also, note the itemization here. This is a little preemptive. I don't think we should have done this by any means, but he decides to Morello the Morgana with the idea that we can look for a last Lily item here. That's what the glove was for something like a Guardbreaker or a JG. But yeah, we're going to level here. It looks like we are certainly playing the Sage version of the board. Like I said, that's a little bit less popular these days. We are holding on to these Annies for a potential Annie 2 here, but yeah, interesting. I mean, we've got a pair of Zyra Khans, pretty interesting. There's also the Soraka that we can pick up. I mean, we've gotten the full board already, right? This was a really, really quick transition. We now have hit an Annie 2 here, so the question is, how do you actually fit that on the board? You got to play it. You just played over the Janna. Okay, easy enough. Yeah, okay, sorry for asking. My bad. I mean, this guy's just a beast. He's ripping through these rolls very, very quick. Skips over the Azir because he's just not interested at all in playing the 4 Invoker version of the comp. And now, a couple of questions here. You have Glove, Chain Vest here. What do you build in this situation, if anything? I'm looking at maybe Steadfast Heart Annie. TG Annie would obviously be fantastic, and if we get like a TG Augment, like GG's. But the problem is this gets rid of our damage components, both of them, for Lilia, right? I really want to get to a Guardbreaker or JG for Lilia as third item. And if we make TG, we're never finding a damage item for Lilia, or if we do, it's going to be very, very far in the future. So I think I like Steadfast Heart the most. If you're confident that you can win this fight, you could sack this one, and then if you get something like Lucky Gloves, then it becomes very easy to just make the TG. Though Are you confident that you can win this fight with this board without making a Steadfast Heart onto Annie? I mean, maybe you are. Maybe this board is just strong enough. We'll see what the slams look like, and it looks like we are going to wait one round until 4-2, see Augment here, and then, you know, make a, you know, Lucky Gloves is something we could consider. And yeah, it looks like we are going to win this fight. The Annie got a little bit low, but honestly, it wasn't even close. Also, you know what's here? Looks like we're going to lose a gold here to hold a few pairs, right? We're holding the Zyra Khan pair, who's, you know, a pretty decent level on this board later game. And we're also holding on to this Nico pair. This kind of surprises me. I think I would just live with the fact that TG is going to sit on Nico and sell these guys, but it looks like they're holding this to potentially move TG later. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by not making 10 here. Like, yeah, kind of shocked. Oof, Prismatic Augment. So there is Lucky Gloves that is available. We also have a lot of really, really nice options here. This is where I would love to do a stats check. Because I don't actually know what's better in this comp, Jeweled Lotus or Baboom, because I don't play this version of the comp. So let's, you know, if you guys are not familiar with how to do a kind of stats check like this, we're going to pull up tactics.tools. We're going to look up Lilia, and we really want to look up Morgana as well to filter for the Lilia Morgana version of the comp. Here is Mythic Lilia and Morgana, so this is that version of the comp. Some people like doing this in the Explorer as well, so you can also, let's do this for fun actually. Let's look up Lilia Morgana. Because this is the only version that's going to play both of those guys, and then, you know, like this already basically filters down to a similar comp like this. And then I want to look at Augments. So I want to look at Jeweled Lotus, and I want to look at Baboom. Statistics say that Jeweled Lotus is a bit better than Baboom here, and then I also let's check here and see how different the stats are, because they can be pretty different. Looks like they're about exactly the same though. So looks like either of these methods gets you to the idea that Jeweled Lotus is a bit stronger than Baboom in this situation. So then roll this. We also, like with these two gloves, I feel like this makes Lotus even better, because this allows us then to make like a guard breaker and feel really, really good about it. And you could even make a Steadfast Heart on Annie, and, you know, her spell's going to crit a little bit. We are going to reroll these two options. And I don't think either of these really do that much for us. You could look up, what is this called? Unleashed Arcana. Because that's like the only other option is Unleashed Arcana. The statistics don't look as good, and I just can't imagine that it's really better here. We already have a lot of items. It does allow you to kind of fully itemize everybody, but like I think we're gonna get to enough items that we'll be happy this game. He's considering it though. He's really thinking about it. I don't think Blinding Speed is ever an option. Yeah, I think the Lotus here makes sense. Wow, continuing to roll down here, and whoa! This is such aggressive rolling in my head. I mean, this is in. I've watched Chinese TFT before, and this is very, very Chinese TFT to me, the roll there. That's interesting. He does make the Steadfast Heart. He ends up actually TGing the Annie here, so yeah, that's why he was holding onto the Nikos so that he could move them over. I'm a little surprised by the TG Annie. I think I would have Steadfast Hearted the Annie and then TG'd somebody else. We have a bit of a streak to play for, but I'm just... you know, there are going to be fights like this where Annie is just not going to roll tank items this game, and it's a little bit, you know, scary that that is the case. Maybe his idea is that eventually he is going to get out of this Annie. You just go on kill here, I would imagine. Your board is pretty strong, so you don't have to worry too much. But maybe the idea is, like, down the line, we level here, get Zyra Khan in, though we end up actually playing Zyra Khan over the Diana here. Wait, really? Okay, so we're playing that for Altruist here over the Sage from Diana here. I mean, it's a much better unit. I could see it. And then the resists are also quite nice on Diana. Yeah, I mean, I could see... I mean, it's... Yeah, Rakan is a billion times better unit than Diana. So I actually think this makes a lot of sense. The only downside about our board right now is we're stuck on Lilia 1, and we're very, very stuck on Lilia 1. But yeah, I mean, the idea is perhaps that we're going to sell Annie later, get in Janna over the Annie for Dragon Lord, and then move the TG over to Zyra Khan. Could be the idea. Like I said, we really, really, really would love a Guard Breaker here. If we can't get Guard Breaker, items are a bit awkward, and yeah, this feels bad. What do you go for here? You can't go for another TG. Maybe you just take the glove and make nothing, and then wait. Oh, we can't even get that, so we have to take Bow here? Blah. I do not like taking Bow in this situation. We still, it's still pretty reasonable, though. We still don't have Static Shiv, which you'd really love, so yeah, I think holding for Static Shiv makes sense. And here's another thing that's quite interesting. Not rolling at all here. We still have this encounter active, where we're going to get gold for killing extra units, and I'm quite surprised because of how deep we rolled earlier, but maybe they're scouting around, seeing the players like this have taken a lot of the units out of the pool. You see there's another Lilia Morgana player. Maybe this is interesting. Perhaps this version is a lot more popular in China, and hey, NA Regionals, I didn't talk about that at all, but NA Regionals, the Golden Spatula in North America, or just Americas actually, sorry, old habits die hard, is happening today. I'm going to be co-streaming with Kai about an hour from when this VOD goes live, so I'll have the link to that in the description as well, so go check that out. But I'm curious to see the prevalence of this comp in China versus America, because I feel like America really likes the 4 Invoker version a lot more, but this version, I think it's easier to get to Shojin than it is to blue buff, and this version does a lot better with Shojin. People have always talked about, once we looked at the data on mana numbers, that Shojin Lilia is really, really good when you have 2 Invoker, and blue buff Lilia is really good when you have 4 Invoker, or even 6 Invoker. Though 6 Invoker, you can usually even just not make a mana item whatsoever. Another question, are we going 9 here? Because level 9 does spike the board significantly. It may be that this player said, you know what, I'm not going to hit these units with all these copies out of the pool. I'm just going to push 9 here. Yeah, get the Diana back into the board, which is a huge spike. And now we can roll on 9 and look for other stuff. All right, I kind of love it. Itemization-wise here, we have a big decision to make, which is what to do with this bow. Because you have Guardbreaker open for the Lilia, which is probably the best single item that you can build for here. But it makes you make Titan's Resolve, which is really bad. You have a few other options. You could go like a Giant Slayer onto Lilia, but then you have to make double Steadfast Heart, which I don't love. I think I would make Guardbreaker and bite the bullet here, and then just Titan's my Alawi. I think that's what I would do here, but let's see. I'm really, really curious what the items end up looking like in this situation. Here, he goes for the JG over Guardbreaker here. I have to imagine that's just incorrect. I don't know for sure, but I mean, this is another spot where we could stats delve here. I have to imagine that is just not how numbers work. But I mean, let's see. This is just really, really cursory, but if we look at Dual Gauntlet, and then Guard Breaker here, the statistics say it's slightly better. You could, if you want to go really deep in the stats, but our sample size is going to start sucking, you could say, go to play rate, please. You could say we have a Shojin and a Nashor's built already, and then what did the stats say is the best last item here? And if you sort by Delta, you see Guard Breaker. It says JG is better than Guard Breaker when you go to this level of depth, which, I don't know. I mean, I'm surprised. And obviously, it's not exactly perfect because, this uses a rod, the other one uses a giant spell, so these things are different. Because you get basically an extra 10... Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. You get basically an extra 10% crit chance because of the fact that we have Lotus already, but Guardbreaker gives you the extra 25% more damage when you deal damage to a shield. There's also his stats different, right? JG is giving you 35 AP and 35 crit chance, where Guardbreaker is only giving you 10 AP and 20% crit chance. But this 25% increased damage is a lot. I don't know. I would have to... I feel like this is not correct. I feel like Guardbreaker should be better, but I mean, hey, I'm never one to disagree with the stats. But I think if you just do basic math, you obviously have to say, like, are we hitting a shield or not? And maybe he scouted the lobby and said there's, like, no shields in this lobby. But, I mean, there are a lot of units that shield in TFT, so I would be surprised. Just rolling on 9 here. Trying to pick up all of our upgrades. Rolling it to 0, actually, every round here. Once again, very Chinese TFT to not even stay at 10 gold here, but there are a lot of upgrades to find. This Nautilus 2 is big, and yeah, this is just going to be our board. I am really curious to see if this Annie does stay on the board the entire game, or if we do end up just pivoting to Janna, because it's another Dragon Lord onto the board, so we get a little bit stronger Dragon Lord, and the idea is that once you end up hitting something like a Rakan too, Rakan's going to be a lot of frontline. He can also hold that TG really well, especially with the crit from the TG onto Jeweled Lotus, so yeah, that's the idea at least. I'm curious to see if he even picks up a Janna, if he finds one on his roll down. We'll see. We will certainly see. But we are coasting very, very well this game off of just a Lilia 1. I mean, with just great items, great augments, great units. I mean, a really nice kind of flexible roll down. The nice thing about, Lilia is that you can kind of play everything. You can play the Anna, you can play the Silas, you can play the Tahm Kench, you can play the Morgana, you can play, like the Azir, though we ended up skipping it after we, realized that we want to play this version of the comp. So it's a very, very flexible board, and oh my god, speaking of, okay, not really flexible, but that Lee Sin just kicked us in the ass. That was insane here. Oh my god, speaking of insane, that is a Rakan 2 with a Mythic Spat. I feel like you would love to pick that up, and is anyone else playing this comp? There's also Static Jill, that's not bad, but yeah, you gotta yoink this. Oh my god, the perfect pickup here. The only question is, what does this do to our board? How are we actually thinking of getting 5 Mythic in here? Because you can't really cut any of these units. Like, Nico fits in so well onto this board, so does Nautilus here. You can't really level up. I mean, the most obvious way would be cut Annie and get Kog'Maw in here, and you still get to keep Invoker in, but you get 5 Mythic in, which seems fine to me, and then we can move the TG over to just, like, Nautilus. I guess maybe you could cut Morgana if you want to, but that's cutting some really, really crucial synergies here. So I guess we'll see what the board ends up being down the line, because, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that we could do here. You could also think about going 10. I mean, for now, 4 Mythic is not bad. by any means. You can just play this 4 mythic and be happy with it, and we're going to continue to roll down. Try to pick up Lilia too, because it is 5-5, and we still don't have our main carry 2-starred, but Morgana's doing a lot of damage with the heal cut. Lilia even just, I mean, what does damage chart say here? Like, how much damage did Lilia do? Oh, we don't have damage charts, sadly, because you have to click into it, and you know, we can't do that here because we just have these VODs that have been recorded by somebody else. But still, I mean, the spot, I would bet if we checked that, the Lilia was doing a lot of damage. But yeah, I mean, the spot looks great. Wow, so many people alive at 5-6, by the way, because I just checked my recording. We're 25 minutes into the VOD, and there's so many people alive, but we are stage 5. We're about to go into stage 6. A lot of people are going to die over the next few minutes, so I'm not going to feel a need to like speed up the VOD at all. I mean, I could if I want to, because I'm on VLC. I could go to 3x speed if I really wanted to. And hey, you know what? Let's do it for Dragon. Why not? Could be fun because like we're just waiting right now. But I am gonna go back down to 2x speed. I love that I could just download these VODs. Thank you, Tanner, so much. And like, please tell me how to get all of these VODs. Static Shiv's the easy pick, right? You have to take this here. Love it. There's the Kog'Maw if we want it. So do you want to pick Kog'Maw up here? Obviously, Annie 2 is about 1,000,000 times better unit than Kog'Maw here, but the upside is you get 5 mythic here onto a lot of really, really crucial units. So do you want this Kog'Maw here? I think I would go for it and say, with the dummies, with the Nautilus 2, with all of this stuff, I have enough frontline. I'm going to do it. But I'm really, really curious to see if this player is interested. He picks up the Kog'Maw. Is it going on the board, though? He's thinking about it. He's in the tank thinking about it. It looks like he's just going to hold the Kog'Maw for now. Yeah, and he's not going to pivot it in over the Annie. You could maybe wait until you get, like, kind of a bad TG so that you move the TG over to Nautilus. But, like, Annie and Nautilus want pretty similar items, so it's not like, yeah, I don't know. We do end up winning this fight, and, I mean, Annie living a long time there was certainly a big part of that. But, I mean, you can also make the argument that, you know, Kog'Maw 5 mythic would be a huge spike for this board, which I mean, I think it certainly is. But I mean, if you're gonna go 10, you would probably not add Kog'Maw. You would add like a Hui or something, right? Because we're not getting 4 Invoker in unless we get like an Invoker spat here. But it does kind of look like we're just gonna hold the line, keep the Annie in, and we're gonna look at going 10 here. I mean, this is a good principled way of playing TFT. You never really want to do something like get rid of a 2-star 4 cost to put in a 1-star 1 cost. So I think that's, you know, a quite reasonable way to play the game, but, you know, sometimes some rules are made to be broken. Darius encounter here? Oh, XP or rolls? I mean, you just take the XP and go 10, I think, right? Yep, we do take the XP. It is 44 gold to level here. So yeah, I think the leveling here makes perfect sense, and we are going to level and fit the Kog'Maw in. And yeah, just play 3 Invoker for now. Like I said, I think the Hui will come in over the Kog'Maw, and this is just going to be our setup here. He decided he didn't want to sell the Annie. And I mean, I think that's a very reasonable take. You know, you really don't want to get rid of this Annie too. I think his idea is that he might actually just not have enough frontline after getting rid of Annie. And once again, cutting a 2-star 4 cost on your board is almost always incorrect. But is this the scenario where it is correct? I mean, looking how close these fights are, I think you could certainly make the argument that we made the right call here. Itemization wise, I mean, I guess we'll take a declaw if we can get it. I mean, seems fine. Not really much else to take on this carousel, a bunch of spats and open components. And hey, I mean, if we had an open tier and we could make Mythic Spat, you'd be over the moon, but not the case. I'm gonna roll down here, try to pick up, there's the way that fits onto the board here. Do you want to, I mean, is there a way to fit Wukong here? I don't really see it. I think some people have cut Soraka in the past for Wukong here, extra Sage over Ultras, but I don't really agree with that cut. Maybe if you hit Wukong too, but Wukong is just such a... this Wukong unit is such a loser, man. Like, I'm pretty sure Soraka is a better unit on this board, even if we hit Wukong too. All right, here's our arch nemesis here. This person who is playing this Lee Sin with double Titans, though. The Lilia 2, oh my god, targeting the Lee Sin actually gets him down. Beautiful positioning. Man, one of the things I've been blown away by this player, it seems like every time he's in the right spot. I've never seen him caught off guard with his positioning. I don't know how he does it, because it's these really simple swaps, right? It's not like he's swapping super, super fast, but it feels like every time he's looking, and we can't see him scouting because this is a VOD, like, from the tournament realm, or, you know, from spectator mode essentially. But yeah, like, it feels like every fight he's always on the correct side. He must be scouting really, really diligently this game, because yeah, I mean, it feels like he's just never caught off guard. He's always winning these fights with positioning. So a beautiful win from this player. I don't know how far, yeah, the VOD just goes right here. We don't have like more made broadcast stuff, but yeah, a fantastic game from this player, Litu Chuan. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, co-stream, and the link is in the description. That's gonna be live about an hour from when this video comes out. So if you're seeing this video, we're probably live already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.